Hey, what's up YouTube? Houston here. And for those of you that's just finding my YouTube channel, welcome. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell. And for those of you that's been following me and supporting me, salute. And for my favorite patrons, double salute. Now, today's video, we're actually going to be talking about how to avoid your credit card application from getting denied and how to fix it. Because there's people out there with a 750, 800, 850 credit score and they're getting denied and they don't understand why. So in their mind, like, wait a minute, I got a perfect credit score. Why am I getting denied? Well, here's the thing about it. First of all, you may be doing the ultimate. And that's an ultimate no-no, especially if you have good credit. And that means that you're actually freezing your credit. And this is why many people that have good credit actually get denied, because they freeze their credit. You do not want to freeze your credit. You actually want to lock your credit file. Okay? So when credit card lenders, when they're trying to get access to your credit report, if you freeze your credit report, what ends up happening, you block out everybody, okay? And then you have this time-consuming process that you have to go through in order to get access to your credit file. Now, here's the reason why you may want to do it and why you may not want to do it. Now, if you've had identity theft, or say that you're fixing your credit, and you don't want old accounts to show back up on your credit file, now you want to freeze your credit file because you're actually fixing your credit file. However, if you have stable credit and you know that your credit is good and everything, you don't want to freeze it. You actually want to lock it. Now, understand there are some associated costs when you lock your credit file. Like with Equifax and TransUnion, they may not charge you to lock your credit file, okay? However, Experian, 30 days, they won't charge you. Then it's $9.99 a month, okay? So you just have to keep in mind. And the reason you want to lock your credit file, okay, again, you're trying to protect your identity, but at the same time, if you lock your file, it makes it much easier for you to unlock it over the phone or through an app or something like that. But at the same time, it gives credit card companies easier and faster access to your credit report. So that's the reason you actually want to credit lock the file instead of credit freeze the file, okay? So that's number one. And that's the reason, like, a lot of people with a 750, 800 credit score, they are being denied. Now, okay, here's another one. You used the wrong credit report. Like I said, people have this impression that, oh, I have a 700, 720 credit score, right? When they go to Credit Karma, and they feel good about that. But I made a video explaining this in detail, why you should not rely on Credit Karma, okay? It's very dangerous, and I'll tell you why in one moment. But for those of you that want to actually see that video between FICO and Vantage, put a comment below for it. Now, here's the thing with Credit Karma. See, Credit Karma is affiliated type of company with credit cards and loans and stuff like that. So for them to give you your Vantage score is usually going to be 50 to 80 points higher. And because it's 50 to 80 points higher than your FICO score, that's the reason they're giving you this false illusion that you have perfect credit, okay? So when they're pushing a credit card on you and they say, oh, you have a 700 credit score, apply for this Chase card. Well, guess what? They're looking at Vantage score they're giving you. Chase card, they look at FICO 8 for new cards. So that's the reason you do not want to you do not want to go off of Vantage credit score in order to apply for credit cards, okay? You want to look at your FICO. Now, your FICO is your Bank of America, is your U.S. Bank, your Chase, your Citibank, your Discover card. They're the ones, and sometimes Capital One. Capital One, they also may use the Vantage Score TransUnion, but most of the time, they're going to use your FICO 8. Okay, now, Wells Fargo, they use FICO 9. And your credit unions, they more likely would use FICO 9, as well as your fintech companies if you're trying to go for a credit card with them. All right, but the thing about it, if you're doing the traditional banks, more likely they're going to pull your FICO 8 for a new credit score. All right. And the reason why that can be dangerous is because with FICO 8, when they created FICO 8, they did not include authorized users. They did not include rental payments. They did not include utility subscriptions. So FICO 8, that's the reason, like a lot of banks, they're like, we're not going to inflate the score to give you a card. We want to actually see what's really going on. So if you've been denied, even though you have, you assume that you have a perfect credit score going off of Credit Karma, then this is one of those reasons, all right? Now, let's talk about bankruptcy, a recent bankruptcy that's been discharged. Again, Chase, Bank of America, U.S. Bank, most of those banks, they want that bankruptcy to be seasoned at least 3 to 4 years. Most of the time it's 4 years. Now, sometimes they may be flexible if it's after 2 years, but the one that you may have a higher chance other than your fintech companies to get approved for with a traditional bank is probably Capital One. Capital One, they may give you a chance after a fresh bankruptcy, but the rest of these major banks and stuff, they have a cooling period. Okay, so that's the reason that if you have great credit, now you're in the 700s after your bankruptcy discharged about 9 months ago. But with the credit, with the traditional banks and stuff, they're like, you're not seasoned enough. And so in order to be seasoned enough, again, most banks, they want you between 3 to 4 years old. Guys, if I'm doing this to help, I'm doing this to help you all. And so if you're understanding what I'm saying and it's becoming a help to you all, would you put a comment below? I really appreciate it because I'm trying to get the algorithm up so we can share it with more of the community. All right, so I really appreciate it. Now let's move forward. Here's a big one. Income. I made a video and I was telling you guys about American Express. One of the big keys with American Express is your income. Okay, so I know a lot of people that want an American Express card and they're like, well, why do they deny me or whatever? Again, American Express, they're going to pull Experian, FICO 8, right? Okay, I'll tell you something else that you guys don't know. Like when these banks say that they're giving you your free credit score, well, guess what? They're not actually giving you the credit scoring system that they are pulling from. Most of the time, they're giving you a different credit scoring system. All right, so you have to keep that in mind. So even like with American Express, when they give you your credit score, they'll give you the Vantage score because it's free to them to give to you. They're not actually giving you your real credit score. A good thing about American Express itself is because they do data mining. So they're not going to put multiple inquiries when you're trying to get other credit cards and stuff like that. But you have to, but adding to that, you have to understand that your income is a real big factor in terms of you being qualified for a new credit card. Now, some of you guys may be retired or you may be on SSI, okay, you have limited income. Well, look at it like this, and here's a big hint. If you're in the household, okay, and you're on the mortgage or you're on the rental lease, and when you're applying for that credit card, include your income. Okay, if somebody's paying you rent to stay there, that's rental income that you can include on the application, okay? If you're on SSI, retirement and stuff like that, and you have kids at home and they're contributing to your income, that's income. That's income all day long, okay? That's contributing to the household. You're the one on the mortgage or the lease, so that's contributing to the income. Now, I will tell you something else. Some people, when they put it on an application, they may say, well, I make $125,000, right? But they don't have no rent on there. They don't have no mortgage on there. They don't have no car loan. So this is a red flag for credit cards to say, hey, prove this. All right? And until you prove it, they're not going to give you a credit card. All right? I have had clients that got approved for credit cards and stuff. And then they decided to say, hey, looking back at your credit card, we're looking at the activity of what you're doing with your credit card, right? And you're spending a lot, and yeah, you're paying a lot, but we just need proof that you're making this kind of money, right? And they were not able to prove it, okay? And because they're not able to prove, they lost the account. So you don't want to put yourself in that position. Don't over-embellish something that you know you can't prove. That's one of the main things I'm going to tell you. Don't over-embellish and say something that you know you can't prove on a credit card application. It's not worth it, all right? Now, here's one of the bigger ones. And this is so important that a lot of people are not even aware of. You may have filled the application out wrong, or you didn't complete the application. So here's something. You may have just quit your job, all right? You may have just quit your job and you got a brand new job, right? When you apply for a credit card, you do not want to put the new job on the credit card application. The reason is because that data has not been updated in your credit file, right? So they're going off of the job history from your old job. So that's the job information you want to put on your credit card application. In reference to addresses, you may have just moved to a new address. Okay? Now, in terms of moving to a new address, you need to make sure that you update that address on your driver's license. Most people don't even know. If you move to a new state, you got a driver's license and you don't update that address on it, they actually can give you a ticket for it. All right. But we're talking about credit card applications. So when you put a new application in for a credit card and stuff, make sure that you reached out to the credit bureaus and updated that address first so they can put it in the system. All right. And that way they have more accurate information about you. Even your name. Some people may have two first names, but it's just their name. You may have John Lewis, right? So Lewis may be your first name and John may be your last name. So when you have that type of situation, the mix up of names, the way they're spelled and which goes first and stuff like that, all of that makes a difference, okay? This is so important because a lot of people, again, they have great credit, but they may have filled out the application wrong. And so I'm trying to help you guys so that you can actually leverage this to your advantage. Now, for those of you just finding my YouTube channel, again, I appreciate you guys. Please subscribe, comment, like. If I'm doing a good job, guys, put a comment below. I really appreciate it. And for those of you that's been following me and supporting me and my faithful patrons,